Hello everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Edexcel Support. Today also we are bringing you a very important lesson to your IAL examination. So we have already discussed 3 lessons by now. Today we are going to do the 4th lesson. We discuss about double entry system part 2. Under this lesson, we are mainly discussing how to balance off T accounts and how to prepare a trial balance. So we'll move to the lesson quickly. The first slides. First of all, we go to the slide number 1. It tells you the learning outcomes. First, we learn how to balance off T accounts. Then, introduction on trial balance. Then we learn about trial balance format. Finally, we discuss nearly 4 questions on trial balance. So, first we have to learn how to balance off a T account. So, this is a T account. I have already explained about T accounts in previous lessons to you. So in here you write the account name. It can be a rent account. It can be a cash account, any account. However, now today what we are going to do is learning how to balance off the T account. You know about it. So now you can see the according to the balancing of steps. The first step is find the highest value. Where can we find the highest value? That is in your debit side, because 23 plus 41 plus 16, the total will be 80. But in your credit side, total will be only 45. So the highest value can be found in your debit side. So we'll take that total down and double line this. Then you bring it to this side and double line. Then you can understand in this side, your total only 45. Then the balance will be, to make it 80, 35. How did you get this figure? 80 minus 45, you can get the 35. So you write here, balance carried down. Balance carried down. Then you bring that figure down. After the 80, you write here, balance brought down. Balance brought down. So you are bringing that balance to the next year or next month. Depends on the question. Okay, I think you got an idea about how to balance off a T account. We'll move to the next slide. Trial balance. What is trial balance? A trial balance is a list of the balances of accounts contained in the ledger. The trial balance can assist in locating errors. It is, however, important to remember that it only indicates that the total debit equal the total credits. The important thing that you should remember, normally when you prepare a trial balance, the debit side total should be equal to the credit side total. The next point, it does not prove the complete accuracy of the bookkeeping. It is necessary to know which ledger account has a debit balance and which has a credit balance. Certain type of accounts always have a debit balance and certain type of accounts always have a credit balance. I have taught you in accounting, mainly there are 5 accounts. They are assets, expenses, liability, income, and capital. So when you prepare a trial balance, assets and expenses balances should be debit, since In the normal balance, it's debit. Income, capital, and liability balance should be credit, because in normal balance is credit. We have already learned this in previous lesson. We'll move to the next slide, student. Then we can see about the format trial balance. Now you know assets are debit, expenses are debit, liability is credit, incomes are credit, and capital is credit. But I have given you some items. Sometimes you feel difficult to understand or identify whether it's debit or credit. Now, drawing is an expense, so it's debit. Purchases, it's an expense, so it's debit. Now, sales return, another name for sales return is return inwards. Now here, you know sales is an income. But when sales return happens, income will be reduces. Therefore, it is debited. Then sales is credit since it is an income. Purchase return, another term is return outward. Purchase is debit, so purchase return is credit because it reduces the expenses. Okay. Remember, all the provision accounts, they have a credit balance. In the future lessons, I will explain why they have credit balance. But remember now, provision accounts, they have a credit balance. Capital is credit. You know that, since it comes under sisters. Now you add debit side and add credit side. The total should be equal, or they should be tallied. So then we call it a trial balance. Okay, with that idea, we go to the next slide, students. We have to do more sums here. Now the following balancer, this is a sum 1, work example 1 we are going to do. Normally when we do sums only, we get the exact idea. So it's important in accounting for you must do more sums. Then automatically that you will be mastering that subject like accounting. Okay, they have given these expenses: purchases, sales, vehicles at cost, motor expenses, rent, rates, insurance, repairs, cash, bank, trade receivables, drawings, capital, and trade payables. So prepare the trial balance. So first of all, we should understand now purchase is an expense, therefore it should be debited. So my answer is in this side. We'll have to go to both side. Purchase is debit, 87,000. Next one is sales, 140,000. Credit since it's an income. Next one is vehicles and the motor expenses. Both we will take. Vehicle is an asset, so it should be debit. Motor expense is an expense, therefore it should be debit. So next one is actually here, it's given in the question, rent. Rent is an expense, therefore it's debited. Rates is also an expense, so it's debit. Insurance, expense, debit. Repairs, it's an expense, debit. Cash and bank, they are assets here, so they are also debited. Trade receivables, another term, traditional term is debtors, so they are assets, current assets, so they are debit. Drawings is an expense, debit. Trade payable is a liability, we call it creditors before, so it's credit. Capital is credit since it comes under sisters. Now you balance off. Now you total it. When you total it, both sides should be equal. In this sum, it is total will be 145,590. So students, please do the same sum. Don't look at the answer. Take the question and you try to do by yourself. Okay. We move to the next slide again. This is work example 2. This question will try to teach you all the important stuff we have taught in the previous lesson. Here we will teach you how to write a double entry, then record them in a T accounts, then balance off them, and then you prepare a trial balance with these balances. So this question is very important question. Okay, so I included but less transactions, but to get an idea, this will be a very good question. The following transactions are for Gary's business. First Jan, Gary purchased good for resale, 153 pounds from Dora on credit. So the double entry will be in the first one. He did a credit purchase. So purchase account will be debited and the relevant trade payable account, Dora, will be credited. Dora account will be credited. Second one, second Jan, he sold goods 29 pounds to Chris on credit. It's a credit sales. When there's a credit sales, you know double entry, trade receivable account debit and the sales account credit. Here trade receivable is Chris. So Chris account is debit, sales account is credit. Third Jan, Gary sold good for cash. So it's a cash sales. So cash sales, cash account will be debited and the sales account will be credited. So cash debit, sales credit. Next one, last one, 4th Jan, he paid motor expenses, 68 pounds by cash. So motor expenses is an expense, it increases, so it's debit. Motor expense account, money is going out, so cash will be credited. So this is a double entry for these 4 transactions. Now next is to record them in a T account. We go and see how to record them in a T account. First transaction is purchase account debit and Dora account credit. Amount is 153. So remember that and we'll go and see the T account. Okay. So in here, purchase account debit. So since it is a purchase account debit, now your left hand side is a debit side. You first of all put the amount 153 in your debit side. Then the date, actual date is not there here. Number first is there, now first Jan, I think. So then the relevant other account name is purchase account debit, Dora account. So right here, Dora. Dora is a trade payable. If you go to Dora account is credit. This is your credit side. Date, amount 153. Then the relevant other account name is purchase account. You write that name, purchase account. Relevant other account. In the transaction, relevant other account is purchase account. That's done. We go to the next one. Next one is Chris account debit, sales account credit. Amount is 29. So we go to Chris account. Chris account, 29 is the amount and debit side. Chris account is debit since it's a credit sales. So you write the date, second, and the relevant other account is sales account. So you write here sales account. Sales account will be credited. Therefore, you write the date and the amount 29. The relevant account is Chris account. That is done. So next one is 3rd Jan. Gary sold goods for cash. So it's a cash sales, cash account debit, sales account credit. Third one. So we record that. That is our cash account. This cash account debit 296. And you write your relevant other account, sales account, and the date. If you go to sales account, Sales account credit that 296. You write the cash account and the amount. Date, I'm sorry, the date. Fourth one is he paid more expenses paid by cash, 68 pounds. So more expense account debit, cash account credit 68. So we go to more expenses account, debit 68. And the relevant other, the date is 4th, relevant other account is cash account. If you go to cash account is credit 68. Right here, more expense account. So now we have finished recording the items or transaction entries in the T accounts. Now next step is to balance off the T account. So to balance off the T accounts, I will try to increase the size. See whether you can see them. Okay. Now you can see when we balance off, now you are selecting the highest side. It's the highest side is this. You put 153. Here also 153. Then when you balance, you get a carried down balance 153 because nothing is there. So that you should bring it down, brought down figure 153. Same way door icon, highest value in the credit side. So you take the 153 as a highest total value and here bring it to this side. Here no balance, so same amount will be your balance carried down. 153 brought down 153. Sales account, highest side is in your credit side. 296 plus 29, total will be 325. Here also 325. So carried down balance will be 325 and brought down you are bringing the same value. Chris account, you have only 29 in your debit side. So 29, 29, carried down balance 29, brought down balance is 29. Next we move to the cash account. Cash account, you have one transactions here, 296, other side 68 is there. So highest value will be 296. Here also 296. Carried down value will be from 296, you deduct 68, then you get 228. Brought down balance also 228. So next one is motor expense account. So motor expense account, your debit side, the balance is 68. Nothing is there in credit side. So 68 is total. Here also 68. Carried down balance is 68. Brought down balance is 68. So we have finished recording all the, we have balance of all the accounts. First we write the double entry, then record them in T account, balance of the T account. The next question from what they ask is, prepare the trial balance. Now, how are we going to prepare a trial balance? Remember, if you take an account, now I told you assets are debit, expenses are debit, that's for, you can remember and do it. But if you see a ledger account or if you get a T account, now if you go to brought down balance, that's brought down balance. Look at the brought down balance always. And from that you can see whether it's recording in the debit or credit side in your trial balance. If you go to purchase account, it's expense normally debit. If you go to brought down balance, you can see brought down balance is in your debit side. Therefore, it is recording debit side. Door account, brought down balance is in credit side. Therefore, it's recording the credit side. Sales account, brought down balance in the credit side. So it's credit 325. Chris account, 29 debit. Motor expenses, 68 debit. Cash account, 228 debit. Then you total, add the figures in debit and the credit. So the total will be 478 and it is tallied. So a complete sum was discussed in here. So I think you got an idea about this preparing a trial balance. Okay. Next question is a trial balance question. It's a homework question. Therefore, but I have given you the answer. What you have to do here, I'll tell you what to do here. Smith's cash sales amount to 612. He purchased shirt from Bob at 1,290. So record these transactions in T accounts and balance of them and prepare trial balance. So I have, so what you have to do is, you have to do this as a homework. Next one is work example 3. You are required to redraft the trial balance. Now, redraft the trial balance means this, what they have done is wrong. So whatever the trial balance they have prepared is wrong. Therefore, we have to prepare the correct trial balance. So we'll try to prepare that one. Okay. Now we don't need to look at the answer. We see the what are the mistakes there. Capital is in the credit side, so let's go to credit side. Premises in debit side, since it's an asset. Office equipment asset debit. Delivery vehicle should be in debit side since it is an asset. Mortgage on premises, the liability should be in credit side. But HP hire purchase debt on vehicle should be credit. Purchases and expense should be debit here. Sales is an income, it should be credit. Wages expense debit. General expense debit. Debtor asset or trade receivable debit. Creditor is a liability, trade payable is credit. Bank OD is a liability, it should be credit. Cash in hand is an asset, debit. Stock is an asset, debit. And the suspense account won't come because suspense account was created here because there was an error. Because that's why to balance only they had done it. Now, since errors were nothing, since all the entries were recording the correct site, so we'll see the answer. If you go to the here, the capital figure is not given capital figure is given. So you record all these stuff, entries or amounts, accounts in the correct column, debit to credit side. So it's automatically balances. So you can see it's the balancing figure is 229,788. So TB is tallied now. So we had done last question also. Now next one is a work example 4. Here what is happening here is the following information is given for Amir Khan at 1st Jan 2020. Prepare a trial balance with this information. It's very easy. Now I will tell first where it should go, then we'll look at the answer. Capital is going to the credit side. Motor vehicle is an asset, therefore it should be in debit side. Machinery is an asset, therefore debit side. Premises is an asset, debit side. Mortgage is a liability, credit side. Wages is an asset, debit side. Wages is an expense, debit side. Rent is an expense, debit side. Rates is an expense, debit side. Purchase is an expense, debit side. Sales is an income, so it goes to credit side. Return inward, I'm sorry. Return inward, another name is sales return. So you can think like this. Sales is credit, so sales return should be debited. So return inward should be debited. Return outward means a purchase return. Purchase is debit, therefore purchase return should be credit. Stock is an asset debit, trade receivable is an asset debit, payable is a liability credit, and bank is debit. So that way if you record, you will get the answer like this. You will get the answer like this. The balance totaling is not done, so you can do it as a homework. So capital credit, motor vehicle, machinery, premises, debit, mortgage credit, wages, rent, rates, purchases debit, sales credit, return inwards debit, return outward credit, stock debit, trade receivable debit, payable credit, and bank will be debit. So you balance off. When you balance off, it will be tallied off. So no issue with that. So we have finished the lesson today. So we discuss about how to balance off TE accounts and how to prepare a trial balance. So this lesson covers the double entry system part 2. So I think the lessons we did, it was very useful for you. It will be very useful for your future examinations, IAL exam, Edexcel IAL examination. Please don't forget to subscribe us and tell your friends and join our channel and comment, make suggestions and like us, share us. So we'll be giving more lessons in the future. So you can join with us. So have a nice day, students. Again, we are coming with lesson number 5. Bye for now.